For the collar, you should have a piece of foam, 2 pieces of mesh, a zipper, and 2 pieces of nylon. You'll also need these 2-inch pieces of grosgrain ribbon, which I'm going to show you how to attach to the end of the zipper, both ends. I've found it's easiest to fold over about 1/2 inch on the grosgrain ribbon and baste it in place just with a straight stitch. If you're doing many of these, it's great to chain off, because then you don't have as many threads to trim. Okay, from there you should have a zipper that measures exactly 24 inches. You're going to line up the raw edge of your grosgrain ribbon with the raw edge of the zipper. Center it on there and stitch near the fold. Then repeat on the other side so you have 2 finished ends on your zipper. Next, the ideal way to finish the edges of these collar pieces is to serge down both long edges of both pieces. If you don't have a serger, you can use a zigzag and then trim off any threads that are left. As you're serging these, the idea is to barely trim off the edge and all the frayed threads. Okay, there's my 4 long edges finished. For the foam part of the collar, you can use a serger or a straight stitch machine. I'll show you both. You're going to sandwich your foam between these 2 pieces of mesh. The mesh should be cut slightly larger than the foam. And I found it's easiest to start at one short end serged off just enough so that you're trimming the foam just a little bit. Then if you kind of stretch this down so it's super straight and tight on both sides, and serge off the extra there. Again, just trim off all the fabric so you're just sewing and trimming, serging off the very edge of the foam. Then if your mesh is somewhat tight, it's fairly easy to sew down a long edge. I kind of compress the foam as it goes under the foot, and it helps it go under better. That's a little twisted, but it's alright. Okay, now let me show you if you zigzag it, how it looks. Okay, I have this set up for a very wide, medium length zigzag. I'm just going to make sure the foam is enclosed and sew straight down. And I'm thinking that a long length zigzag would be fine as well. So now I've got that as wide and as long as my machine will go. And again, I'm compressing the foam to help it go under the foot. and that's just fine. The serging is prettier, but the zigzag will work. And a little bit of twist is okay. You can see how that doesn't lay quite flat, and that's okay. Got some puckers here, that's fine too. That will mostly be hidden inside the collar, so no need for perfectionism here. Next we're going to sew the collar zipper to the collar nylon pieces. The shiny side is the wrong side, the dull side is the right side. So place your zipper face down, so the zipper pull is down and your grosgrain ribbon is down. Center it on the length of the nylon. The ends probably won't line up, just center them. Line up the serged edge with the edge of the zipper tape, and then sew straight down the middle of the zipper tape from the back side of the zipper. The zipper pulls don't always go on straight, so if you've got a little bubble, you can just work the zipper pull a little bit and it will straighten that out for you. Okay. So that will look like that, and then you're going to do the same thing on the second piece. The zipper goes face down, line up the other edge, and sew straight down the middle of the zipper tape. Okay, now I've sewn that other side on. The next thing is to open this out flat from the right side, pull the nylon out flat, and top stitch next to the fold. Again, you want to sew through the zipper tape. And then you'll repeat that on the other side. Okay, so those are both top stitched. The next thing is to sew this nylon zipper piece to the foam piece. You can pick the worst of the two sides if you want to be on the inside of the pocket. So, contrary to what you might think, pick the right side, the nicer side, pin this on here, face down. Okay, now you're going to line up this zipper with the center of the foam and pin it in place on the short edge. And the nylon is wider than the foam. That's on purpose so that there's room for the hood. So what you're going to do with the extra length is just pleat the fabric and fold it over on top of the zipper tape until the top edges line up of the nylon and foam. Pin that in place. Do the same thing on this side, the bottom edge, and on the other end. Okay, I've got my pleats all pinned, and you can see on this collar that the foam is just a little bit shorter than the nylon, and that's okay too because the foam will stretch. So we're going to sew 3 edges of this, starting with the short edge. Use about a 1/2 inch seam on this one. Sew up to your pin and take it out so you don't break a needle. Put your needle down, lift your foot and turn the corner. And then on this long edge, you're just going to stretch the foam so that it fits the nylon while you sew it. And then, again, needle down, lift your foot, turn the corner, sew down the second short edge. Back stitch. Okay, trim your corners off diagonally, being careful not to cut your stitching. Then turn the whole thing right side out. And that puts the pretty side out, which will be next to their neck. And the not so pretty side will be hidden inside the hood pocket. Once you've got this turned right side out and the corners fairly square, then we're going to top stitch this about 1/4 inch from the edge, all the way around the 3 sides you just sewed. And my toe got stuck. You may need to stretch it again to get it flat while you sew it. And you want to make sure that the seam is right on the flat edge where you fold it. You may have to fight against that fat foam seam allowance a little bit. And I'm doing this on an industrial machine, but I have done lots of them on regular home sewing machines too. They will work. You may want a heavy needle to go through the zipper tape though. Okay, and that collar piece is finished.